Hello and welcome back in another requested video. I know this is the second video today. I had a little bit of free time, so I thought to myself, let me make another requested video. So I received like 56 minutes ago a requested video by Mr. Kareem Abdu. So he requested the V8 from the Chevrolet Tahoe, the 4x4 version, the 2014 4x4 version. I mean, yes, in Riyadh here in Saudi Arabia, it's very popular. I mean, you can see like Tahoes and Yukons, you can see those like absolutely everywhere. I mean, they are like I don't know, everyone has one, everyone buys one. Like every family should have a Tahoe or a Ford Expedition or the GMC Yukon. I mean, it's very popular. The Vortec V8 is very popular here, and of course the 6.2 version, it's very popular here. All right, so I've searched Wikipedia and you can find like absolutely every possible spec of this engine, except like for little things. I mean, the LS enthusiast, yes, they will tell me of course, or the LT1 enthusiast, they will tell me like what kind of specs and if I made anything wrong here. I would love if you can explain it to me in the comment section below, please. All right, so before we start with the specs, please remember that, for example, this engine uses this engine uses overhead valve or push rods, and in automation game, this technology is very old school. This option is very old school. In the old automation game version, there used to be an option here called modern overhead valve, modern OHV, and that is the same version of the push rod, but this is a modern version that can make a lot of power and stay reliable without putting the quality slide all the way to +15. And unfortunately, they have removed this option. So my only option is to go with the classic, really classic, really old school push rod option here, which is really rubbish. They should bring back the modern overhead valve option, so I can make this engine as it should be. And alright, so before we start the video, again, I would say, please, if you enjoyed the video, if you like it, hit that like button, get subscribed, share the video if you want to share it, and of course enjoy watching it. And you can watch all my previous videos because I promise you will like them. So let's start with the specs. We have V-shaped 90 degrees 8-cylinder engine, aluminium block, 103.2 millimeter on the bore and 92.1 millimeters on the stroke. Now let me explain something. It says on Wikipedia the bore and stroke. The bore is 103.25. Unfortunately, here I cannot put 25, only 103.3, 103.2, 103.1. That's it. No, there is no 103.25. No. And the stroke on Wikipedia says it's only 92 only, not 92.1. But so like it should be like this, but unfortunately the total, the total cubic centimeters or the cc, the total of it should be 6,162. So if I want to keep it like 92 millimeters on the stroke, it will be really far from 6,162. So by adding like 0.1 millimeter of on the stroke, I will get really close. I mean 6,163 instead of 62. So I'm really close this way. So I'm gonna keep it like this. Push rods, 2 valves per cylinder. We have aluminum heads, of course, and cast iron crankshaft, cast connecting rods, and cast pistons. Now I'm not sure about the connecting rods or the pistons, because usually a lot of manufacturers they just put heavy duty forged connecting rods on regular cast pistons, and some other manufacturers they will leave a cast iron crankshaft in, but they will put forged connecting rods and forged pistons. I don't actually know what kind of materials they used on the internals. So if you are an LT1 enthusiast, I would love if you can tell me the correct materials for the internals. Zero quality here. The engine uses 11.5:1 compression ratio, which is also a big problem because this is really high compression with regular push rods, regular old school push rods, not the correct option, and that also create another problem with the octane value that I will show you later. I had to choose 49 on the cam profile with variable valve timing, but since this is very old school push rods, not modern overhead valve, I had to push the quality to plus 15. Plus 15. That makes the engine totally like no one can make it. No one can produce it. Check out the engineering time. 380 and production unit 186. That's extremely high. This is like hypercar territory, not a Chevy V8 engine. So yeah, that's another problem in automation game. They should fix that. They should bring back the modern overhead valve so we can choose it and keep this one on 0 quality, plus 2 quality. That's it. That's pretty much it, but not plus 15. So yeah, I had to move on. Naturally aspirated. This engine uses direct fuel injection on the 2014 model, according to Wikipedia, not my words, and according to other websites. I mean, I've checked with 3-4 websites, and all of them said the 2014 6.2 liter truck version used a direct fuel injection. Not my words. Single throttle body, standard intake manifold, premium 95 octane fuel. I had to choose premium 95 because obviously I'm using 93 right now, so I cannot use 91. And yes, now the problem is with using high compression age ratio with classic old school push rods instead of modern overhead valve is the octane value. I had to push, and I mean I had to push a lot of fuel in. I mean 12.2. This is extremely thirsty engine. Yes, and as you can see, 70% only. But remember, this is a heavy engine, 241 kilograms. That's heavy. And 70%, no, that's ain't gonna cut it with a heavy truck around it, because come on, it's a Chevy Tahoe. No, it's not made from aluminium. It's made from steel. So yeah, you can see the fuel economy will drop significantly. Wow. All right. So and I had to push the ignition timing to 95. Not like the real engine. The real engine I obviously use really low ignition timing. But the RPM is 6,000 like the real engine, and I had to use +8 quality on the fuel system so I can make the correct power and torque. Short cast headers and dual exhaust pipe. I know. Don't kill me in the comment section. I know that the Tahoe uses a single exhaust pipe, a single one go all the way to the rear, and then a single exhaust tip. I know that, but in automation game, if you want to use a single exhaust pipe, you have to make the exhaust diameter huge, and I mean huge. I mean right now it's 2.8 inch exhaust diameter, and it can support 416 horsepower. We have 420. Yes, the exhaust is a little bit restrictive, but if I want to put single exhaust pipe, I had to push it to all the way to 3.8 inch or 4 inch, like double the size. Can you imagine a 4-inch exhaust diameter? That's big, and that's not efficient, not reliable, and it will make everything heavy. 3-way carrier converter. I had to choose. I know that some of the I'm not a Tahoe or a GMC Yukon expert, but I don't think they use straight through muffler, or I think they use baffled and reverse flow on this single exhaust pipe. But to make this kind of power and this kind of torque, I need to choose these. But the engine is still quiet. 28 points. 28 is very, and I mean very quiet. I mean, it's like Rolls-Royce quiet. +9 quality on the exhaust. That can also help power and torque and quietness. And this is the final result: 420 horsepower on 5,700 RPM, like the real engine, 100% like the real engine. Unfortunately, then, the torque. The torque on the real engine, according to Wikipedia, is 460 pound-feet of torque. Other LT1 enthusiasts reported the engine is making 459, 458 pound-feet of torque. So yeah, I'm around the neighborhood. And I promise you, and I mean I promise you, whatever you played with the cam profile, if you decrease it, you will lose power, you will lose torque. If you increase it, you will gain power, you will lose torque. If you played with the quality, change the cam profile again. If you played with the ignition timing, you will lose power, you will gain torque. But I don't want to gain more power. I want to keep 420 on the dot, and it's just a nightmare. And to get close, really to get close to this power and torque, I had to push a lot of fuel in, although it's not necessary. I mean, check it out, 93.7. I mean, I want to make it efficient. I would just pull a lot of fuel out so I can make it 95 here, like use the correct 95 octane fuel and make it more efficient. But I can't. I genuinely can't. And if I want to make the correct power and torque figures, I can use tubular headers. This will help a lot to achieve the correct power and torque. But unfortunately, on the real engine, it does not come with tubular headers. The engine comes with regular short cast headers, regular cast headers. Really, I promise you that. So I cannot just change the fact and go with tubular. That will be just hideous. I have to keep the cast headers. Again, the dual exhaust pipe, you know the story. So it's pretty much, it was a pretty much nightmare to make this engine. It's really difficult, and all of this thanks to Automation Game, because they have moved this option, the modern overhead valve. I mean, automation players, I promise you this, automation players, if you have this game, please play the old version, they call it the KEE version, the old one. You will find modern overhead valve option here, and if you choose that, and if you make all the correct specs, if you put them in, you will have the correct engine without this much of fuel and this much of production unit and engineering time. I promise you that. So this was a pretty much nightmare, but I'm gonna say, like, I nailed 95% of it, and I'm happy with that. 95% is absolutely amazing. Alright, so let's fire up this beast here. As you can hear, it's very quiet at idle. Of course, it purrs and rumbles because it's a massive V8, but it's still very quiet. And it idles really low. It idles at 700 RPM, like the real engine. Maybe the real engine idles at 800, but you get the point. It's very close. As you can hear, the engine is really good. I mean, it's very quiet, it's powerful, it's really torquey, and it's just a massive engine. 6.2 liter V8 engine. This is a massive engine. But as always, I'm not gonna end the story here. So we have listened to the engine, we have made it, and it's very beautiful. But I'm not gonna end it here. I'm gonna just make another version of it. Let me choose what is it? The LT1 close replica. Make another clone of it, and choose the clone. And I'm not gonna end it there. Let's say that you have this 2014 model. You have it, right? And you are enjoying the power, the torque, and everything, but you want more. I promise you, just change the exhaust system on it, and the intake and the cam profile, and you will have, I mean, you will have like massive gains. And what I mean massive, I mean really massive gains. Let me show you. And you can find aftermarket kits for that. I mean, especially here in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, these engines, I mean, they are absolutely popular here. You can go to any tuner shop and you can find cold air intakes, intake manifolds, cylinder heads, valves, camshaft, valve springs, exhaust systems, exhaust kits, what else, pistons, connecting rods, everything. You can find turbo kits for it. You can find everything. These engines are very popular here. So I'm gonna work with what I see here in real life. Like most of the guys here, like 85% of GMC enthusiasts that demands more power from this engine, they can just change the exhaust system, the intake manifold, and job done. More power on the stock camshaft and stock everything. Let me show you. Let's say that you went online and you bought like let's say what, a MagnaFlow, maybe exhaust system with custom tubular headers. Let me show you the tubular headers alone, what kind of difference they will make. Ready, steady, yes, extra 7 horsepower and extra, let's see, an extra 5 pound-feet of torque, just by just by replacing the headers with tubular. Tubular are not really good headers. Yes, they are a little bit better. They are engineered well, but what you really want to go with is long tubular. Unfortunately, long tubular will make the ground clearance for under the engine bay not really good. I mean, if you went crazy with your SUV, you can scratch them because they are really long. But I'm not gonna go there yet. Let's keep this regular tubular headers. And you bought the aftermarket, let's say MagnaFlow, Borla, whatever exhaust company you purchased it from. The engine, let's say that you have 2.8 inch. Let's go with 3 inch. Check out the difference. Yes, you will lose a little bit of torque, but check out the power. From 427, 439. That's absolutely brutal. And replace the catalytic converter with high flow catalytic converters, more modern one. Replace the second reverse muffler with straight through muffler, and of course, because the exhaust comes with baffled, also replace that with the with the straight through muffler, and you will gain. When I mean you will gain a lot of power. Plus 10 quality, perfect. Look, right now we have 443 horsepower. The engine used to make 420, so we gained extra 23 horsepower. Yes, my friends, 23 horsepower and a little bit of torque. Let's fire it up. Let me tell you a little secret. Like a lot of custom shops here, because this engine comes with a single exhaust pipe, you know, all the way to the rear, and then it will tilt to the left like this. It will go to the left like this from the rear of the vehicle. Like a lot of custom shops, they will create for you another exhaust pipe. I mean, you will have like dual exhaust pipes. As the stock one will come from here as always, but it will not join in the middle with. I mean, of course, the engine is a V engine, so it has two headers, the two pipes coming down, and then they will join in a single pipe and go all the way to the rear. That's the stock one. What they will do is they will cut and remove this joint here. They will put another pipe. They will fabricate another pipe. I promise you, they will just get the stock one, and they will just flip it around, and they will just weld some hangers for it, and job done. You will have dual exhaust pipes, and they will just weld like a piece here to connect the headers with the stock exhaust pipe, and job done. You will have dual exhaust pipes. Like for example, the GMC Sierra, that pickup truck with a V8, it comes also with a single exhaust pipe. But I promise you, a lot of guys, a lot of enthusiasts, they will just do this. They will fabricate another exhaust pipe, and you will see like a lot of them, like Chevrolet Silverado and the GMC Sierra, like they will come with dual exhaust pipes for the rear. Some GMCs I've seen those. Yeah, I promise you, they are very popular here. So we have changed the exhaust system. Check out the throttle response. It's very responsive. 88.5. It's really responsive. That's very awesome actually, and it's very reliable, of course, because everything is on plus 15 quality. The next step is, which everyone does here. Everyone really does it, which is change the airbox and put a cold air intake system on it. Unfortunately, in automation game here, no, you cannot just bolt on a cold air intake on this LS looking intake manifold. No, I promise you, no, you cannot do that. But we can simulate something similar to it, which is changing the whole intake system from single standard into a single performance. Yes, this will change, the intake manifold will change, but we will simulate, the cold air intake situation. All right, let's change it. So we have right now single standard, single performance, and you will gain like extra 4 horsepower and extra 5 pound-feet of torque. That's good. Extra fuel efficiency because of the high airflow, and yes, as you can see, it will change dramatically. Bigger intake manifold, longer runners, big throttle body, and of course different airbox and different air filter. All of this will make the engine to produce more power, more torque, and to sound much louder. Yes, like this. The engine is running better than ever. The engine is really powerful now, nearly 450 horsepower, 464 pound-feet of torque. Now, yes, we gained a lot of power, we gained a lot of torque by changing the exhaust system and the intake system. So now the engine is breathing better than ever. So the next step is, of course, to go to the dyno and tweak the ECU. Let's see, like adding, let's add a little bit of ignition timing. Actually, no, we will not gain any power, but let's see, I just pulled some of the ignition timing and we gained actually more power, 450 horsepower. That's awesome, 464 pound-feet of torque. But if you want to make the engine efficient, I will suggest to go like this. Drop the fuel mixture. Yes, we will lose power, I know that. We will lose like a lot of power, but check out the fuel efficiency. From 16 to 19.2%, the engine will be really economical. But I don't think that anyone can do it, so let's stick back to 12.2 as it used to be. Alright, so the next step is we have pulled some ignition, we added more power, that's good. Yes, the camshaft. This is a very easy swap. I promise you, LS engines, LT engines, whatever, you can find like a million, I mean it, a million camshaft, an aftermarket camshaft, comp cams, and I don't know, like a million other companies that makes these kind of camshaft, valve, push rods, what do you call them? Because I mean, LS enthusiasts, they will tell me right now that there are two kind of push rods. They call them the hydraulic flat tappet and the hydraulic roller, I think. Yes, so whichever team you are in, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, we basically have the option to go with hydraulic roller or flat what they call it, flat tappet camshaft. Yes, and you have to change the push rods, you have to change maybe the valves, the valve covers, or the cylinder heads. I mean, a very popular thing to do with LS engines. I mean, I've seen it on Roadkill and other YouTube shows. When they get a really crappy V8, they will just change the cylinder heads, they put in a camshaft in, add more ignition timing, play with the carburetor, and job done. More power, more torque, more everything. But we cannot change the cylinder heads, so I'm gonna keep those cylinder heads. I'm just gonna change the cam profile. Let's see how aggressive we can go before we start to lose torque. Right now. Alright, so on 60, let's see, on 66 will give me 478 horsepower, 67 will give me 480 horsepower, but we will lose 3 pound-feet of torque. Alright, so let's sacrifice some torque, but check out the fuel efficiency. Now this is rubbish. The engine is burning so much fuel in, and we need to fix that. We need to fix that indeed. Let's add more RPM, because yes, you can actually go with a little bit, like 6,400. Yes, the internals can take it, no problem, no warning lights or anything else. And let's pull a lot of fuel out of the engine. I mean, like this. I promise you, this is better. But unfortunately, we'll have lost like a lot of torque. I want to keep it 460 torques. I want to keep it, but the power is 487. So this way, the engine is. Let's see. I mean, I genuinely don't like the cam profile right now. 480. All right, so 484. That's better. That is heaps better. 482. I want the engine to be economical. I mean, I really want to set it like this, because this is perfect. But we will lose torque, and I don't want to lose torque. I genuinely don't want to lose torque. So you can actually go back to 3-inch, because whatever guy wants this vehicle, this SUV, he wants We want it to be torquey, not to be rubbish. Yes, we gained more power, but we lost torque. Alright, so we will get back to the fuel again. Yes, unfortunately, we will get back, let's say 12.3. 12.3, unfortunately, we will stay on it. Let's change the headers to a like not manufactured, fabricated long tubular headers. And yes, check out the torque, the power, of course, more and everything, which is really a +1. And you can go back to 2.8 inch actually. Yes, you will lose 1 horsepower, but you will gain extra 2 pound-feet of torque. So you can actually stay on 2.8 inch if you are planning to go with long tubular headers. You should write that down if you are planning. I don't think that this goes in real life, but you get the idea. Let's see, add more ignition in. Not so much, like so. Alright, so 96, not much more. What else should we do? Cam profile, no, the cam profile is very good. No, I don't want to lose torque. 492, you can go back to 64. 492 horsepower, 479 pound-feet of torque. As you can see, there is not much you can change. A better cam profile, a better camshaft, still torquey on 64. A little bit more ignition in. Pull out some of the fuel, change the exhaust system, change the intake system, and job done. That's pretty much it. As you can see, with all these mods done, the engine weighs only 220 kilograms on the dot, which is good, which is very, very good. The engine is very responsive, and yes, it's a little bit noisy because sport exhaust system. Smoothness less than before, of course, from the cam profile. Fuel efficiency little bit worse, but all of this, we started with 460 horsepower. We have now 492 horsepower, so we gained extra 32 horsepower, and the torque, no, we started with 420 horsepower and we are now 492, so we gained extra 72 horsepower. That's pretty much awesome. And the torque, yes, the torque started with 460 pound-feet of torque, and now we have 479.5, so we gained 19.5 pound-feet of torque. I mean, yes, we gained a lot of power and we gained a little bit of torque, but this is not the finish here. The engine is good, right? The engine is really, really good. Alright, since it's very good, let me propose something to you. And no one actually done it here. No one, I mean, I've never seen a Chevrolet Tahoe or a Yukon with twin turbochargers on it. No, I've never seen one. But you can do it. It's not hard to do, but you need to be careful, because the internals cannot take more than 605 pound-feet of torque. You need to be careful. Let's see, I pulled a lot of ignition, twin turbocharger kit or twin turbochargers. Let's see, 600 horsepower. You need to be careful, like just go with small turbine, like 50, go with 60 millimeter on the compressor. Yes, you see what I mean? You see what I mean, right? Yes, now the internals are actually starting to give up, as you can see, because we're making a lot of torque, so we have to drop the boost to, let's say, to 10 psi. Let's say like this, 43. Alright, 46 here, and we have, if we go like really small, so we can make it efficient. Let's go with 38, 46, that's very efficient. Or let's say what, 2500 RPM. Now that's good, that's very good. Alright, so we have 42.5 on the turbine, 46.5 on the compressor. That's very good. 10.1 psi, maxed out L ratio. Wow, that's a big intercooler. 774 supporting horsepower, 541 horsepower on the real engine, plus 5 quality on the turbo. And let's see, 3-inch exhaust diameter. We can go with that. That's perfect. Oh no, that will kill the engine. Let's say zero quality. So we have 601 pound-feet of torque, 564 horsepower. As I said, you need to be careful not to destroy the pistons and the connecting rods, because they cannot take that much boost. They cannot take that much torque. You need to be careful. So 601 or 600 pound-feet of torque, it's good. The engine will survive, you can run it perfectly. But more than this, you need to open the engine and change the internals to a forged internal. I mean, if you are planning on going with twin turbochargers, just don't change the intake manifold, because there is no point of changing it. It will cost so much. And if you are planning on doing a turbocharged twin turbocharged Yukon or Tahoe, I know there is no point of going with an intake manifold. You can just raise the boost a little bit, like so, 10.4. But yes. But I really hate the fact that I'm stuck on 600 pound-feet of torque. I really hate the fact. I want more. So as you can see, this is the stock intake manifold. As you can see, it can support boost, no problem. And it will keep the engine quiet. It will keep the engine from the front. It will keep it quiet if you keep the stock intake manifold. But yes, everyone keeps it stock. I promise you, everyone keeps the intake manifold stock. But all of them change the airbox into a cold air intake. So yes, it will basically be the same. I mean, if you keep the stock intake manifold, which everyone does, and change the air filter or the intake or the airbox into a high performance Can-N or another brand, yes, you can start to hear the engine induction sound, and of course you'll make more power. That's what everyone does. Alright, so we have 600 pound-feet of torque, but let's say that you are happy with the power, you are happy with everything, but you still want more. So the healthiest thing to do is opening the engine. Change everything: forged steel crankshaft, heavy-duty forged connecting rods, and forged pistons. This way, check out the torque rating, 1623. So you can go mental right now. You can go crazy. First job to do is, of course, since we have extra headroom, more ignition timing. Really more ignition timing. As you can see, with the ignition timing alone, you will hit like nearly 600 horsepower. Since we have this much ignition in, let's add a little bit of fuel in, and let's go crazy with the turbos and with the boost. We need boost, my friend. Yes, 677 pound-feet of torque. Now that is good. That is good, my friend. Let's pull some ignition timing or add some fuel in. That's perfect. I mean, if you want, you can go crazy. Like if I'm gonna use 98 octane fuel, yes, we can go with really big numbers. But unfortunately, I'm gonna go, like, for example, here in Saudi Arabia, there is no 98 octane fuel, only 91 and 95. So you will have like 700 pound-feet of torque, 632 horsepower. That's very good. That's not bad at all. Not bad at all. Let's see, 600 and let's say nearly 650 horsepower. Yes, 650 horsepower. That's good. That is good, my friend. Now, since we have a little bit of extra RPM range, you can raise the RPM, but there's no point of it because the power peaks at 6,300. So you can go with 6,700 RPM. That's perfect. You can go with performance intake manifold right now because yes, it's needed. You need more power, and the intercooler is small. Let's go with a bigger one. 673 horsepower. You can go with aggressive camshaft right now since we have the extra headroom in octane and in RPM. Because I genuinely want to make a high RPM LT1 engine. Let's say 6,700. We can go with 7,000 RPM, 701 horsepower. You can actually make your Chevy Tahoe to be, you can make it like a Hellcat, like 709 horsepower right now, 654 pound-feet of torque. It's like a Hellcat. It's like an actual Hellcat up front. That is perfect. Yes, we are burning a lot of fuel in. I know that. I know that. No, there is no. Actually, you can go 3.2-inch exhaust diameter, 721 horsepower. That is very, very good. And we are still using 95 octane fuel. I'm not using a racing fuel yet. So as you can see, the engine is pretty much perfect. Raise the RPM to 7,200. Perfect. Perfect engine, right? Listen to that beast. Now that is a massive gain. Let's go over everything we did so far. So we started in live with 420 horsepower and now we have 720 horsepower. So we gained extra 300 horsepower. We started with 460 pound-feet of torque and we have right now 654. I was really looking to 660, so I can say that we gained extra 200 pound-feet of torque, but no, we gained like extra 196 or whatever. Yes, 196 pound-feet of torque. Well, maybe I'm correct, maybe not. All right, so 190-ish pound-feet of torque, and yes, all of this thanks to the magic of twin turbos and forged internals, different camshaft, different push rods, valve springs, different intake manifold and intake system, different exhaust system, different ECU and tuning. So basically everything is different except the block itself. But this will, can you imagine? But of course, if you want this amount of horsepower, the stock gearbox or transmission will never ever it can never take this amount of power. No, you have to upgrade your gearbox. You have to order one from the US, I think, like Gearstar, whatever company they are making these beefy Chevrolet upgraded gearboxes. If you have this power, of course. a beefy gearbox, a beefy rear what called differentials front and rear, because it's four-wheel drive. This engine should be in a 2014 Chevrolet Tahoe 4x4, so you need beefy of also differentials, and of course you need better brakes so you can stop better tires. Suspension, it's up to you if you want to keep it comfortable as stock one, or if you want to upgrade. So basically, yes, can you imagine your Chevrolet Tahoe with 720 horsepower? That is just brutal. I mean, you can just put your foot down and fly, and I mean fly, without making it an ounce lighter than before. So I'm really happy with the end result, and I'm really thankful for Mr. Karim Abdu for requesting this engine. I've never actually made an LT1 engine before, but I'm really happy that I made one, and I'm hoping that it's up to your specifications. So thank you so much guys for watching. Please, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, get subscribed, share the video if you want to share it, and watch all my previous videos, because I promise you will like them all, because I made more than 600 and maybe 40 videos, and like a lot of cars, and actually I received a lot of requests that I can just go back to my videos and search the name of the engine that the people are requesting, and I will find that I already did it before. So I will just give them the link and job done. That's awesome. So thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna see you very soon, and wish me luck. I wish you all the luck, and have a wonderful because tomorrow is Monday, like basically everyone is going to work, so have a beautiful Monday tomorrow. So goodbye for now, my friends.